afternoon, Haki Ami. I'm here at the Loudmouth screening for the Reverend Al Sharpton. I'm here with the Honorable Marvin Doc Cheatham. Brother Doc Cheatham, what did you think? What did Reverend Al Sharpton mean for civil rights?
Well, I would say we have a living example of someone that we have seen before as a child and has grown up to be a man, to really be the nation's major spokesperson in the area of civil rights. You know, Reverend has come a long way in a long period of time. I've seen him grow up, and I've seen him improve and enhance himself, and as a result of civil rights organizations around America have improved as a result of following his lead. You know, I was one of those folks crazy enough to run with Reverend Al when he ran for president of the United States. So I go way back with Reverend Sharpton. I'm really happy to say he's a member of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity. So we honor Reverend Sharpton. But if there is a spokesperson today that speaks for a large percentage of us. I won't say the majority or all of us, but if there is someone speaking and living the life that we would want him to live, in honor of Dr. King and Malcolm X and all of those that came before him, Reverend Sharpton is doing it. And to have someone living and have a documentary done on them, that should tell you that this man has come a long way, and I'm honored to know him and call Reverend my friend.
Thank you, Doc. That was
Thank
beautiful.
you.
I appreciate that. And I'm here with Sister Charlene, Lady J, and she showed up for the Reverend Al Sharpton film. So I just wanted to get her opinion on the Reverend Al Sharpton and this film, and what this film meant for you, and what does Reverend Al Sharpton mean to civil rights.
I thought it was an amazing movie, first of all. And for me, I was not around when Dr. King was marching and, you know, everybody was in the civil rights movement. So I'm from the generation of Al Sharpton. And I just appreciate what he's done so much, because that's putting your life on the line for so many people. And the fact that they made a documentary about him to give him his flowers now, I just think that's great. And the movie was phenomenal. Phenomenal. I think for me, it's also given me a different perspective to see, because some of the footage that was in the movie I didn't even know about. So to actually see the footage and to see what this man has gone through, and that in his, you know, older years, he's still out there on the front line fighting. It was great. It was great.
I'm glad you enjoyed it and that work. I'm here with Brother Mark C., radio host and advocate in the streets every day in the city of Baltimore. So he's a Loudmouth, a certified honorary member of the Loudmouth group.
Absolutely.
And so, brother, what did you think about Reverend Al Sharpton film, Loudmouth film, and what does Reverend Al Sharpton mean for civil rights?
You know, Brother Haki, I thought it was so powerful. A lot of people don't know. I was born in New York.
Oh, wow.
I was born on Long Island. Mother and father broke up when I was a baby. Mother moved down here. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And a lot of that stuff, I was up there. You know, with my dad. And a lot of people also don't know. I was caught up in addiction 15 years. I was a teenage alcoholic. One of Reverend Al's mentors, Reverend Frankie Robertson. Got me out of jail 3 times.
Oh, wow.
If it wasn't for one of his mentors, I wouldn't be here.
Oh, wow. Indeed.
What's going on, because that's what it's all about.
Yes, sir.
It's all about us using our voice to change for the better.
Indeed.
You know, so I'm just so honored that National Action Network did this premiere.
And I'm here with Sister Darlene King, and Sister, so share a little bit about your organization, of course, and what this film meant for you and the legacy of Reverend Al Sharpton.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you so much for having us so that we all can come here in Baltimore City to honor Al Sharpton. My name is Darlene King. I'm the mother of Dale Graham, and I started my organization in 2010 after the death of my son, Dale Graham, who was killed by a Baltimore City police officer in 2008. So I started fighting for legislations. I also wanted to help families get resources so they know how they can get help when they lose a loved one through police brutality and gun violence and all types of violence. First of all, I feel as though this is a must-see show. The teenagers, they need to bring the teenagers like they had the kids come from school to see Wakanda. So I feel as though they should have the teens come from school to see this movie as well.
Yes.
And for me, it was a little bit emotional because I saw mothers and families that I met across the country, that I marched with, that I met personally. And but for me, I'm happy to have a leader like him, a civil rights leader, who care about us and who fight for our rights and who help us lift our voices up, because we know that we need other people to help us as well in this kind of battle. This is like a very rough journey for us. We can't do this alone, so we need somebody who can fight. And, you know, thinking of him meeting Martin Luther King and powerful people like James Brown, it meant a whole lot to me because it showed that he had a whole lot of background, a whole lot of experience, and he started so young. And it was very important that we saw that how young he was when he first started and why he did it, and why he earned the respect from people to do what he did. So I'm happy that I made it today. I salute him, and I'm happy that he made this documentary. I believe he should have a part 2 because this is only a very short version of what he does.
Exactly, exactly. Thank you again, Darlene. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
And I'm here with the president of the Allendale Community Association, Anita Cathcart. And so she came out to hear the Reverend Al Sharpton. And so what did you think? Was it inspirational? And what do you think of the legacy of his civil rights movement?
Well, it was a wonderful documentary of his time, life and times of Reverend Al Sharpton. I was a small baby, a youngster back in the 60s when I did not really hear about a lot of what was going on until I was a teenager. But now that I am an adult, a full-grown adult, I can now look back at those times by being able to look at the video, the movie, and to see that a lot of what he's doing is what really everyone needs to be doing, is speaking up and really supporting each other, especially since we're in the same fight together. We also need to support each other. So I thought it was very riveting. I thought it was very inspiring, and it gave me a little bit of extra energy for the work that I do in my community.
Indeed. And yes, you do some work in your community. So I thank you for your time and for coming out. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Good evening. This is Haki Ami. I'm here at the Loudmouth Film, and I wanted to take some time as the president of the Teaching Artists Institute and a member of the Maryland Legislative Black Caucus Foundation and our local Baltimore chapter NAN member to say thank you to Dr. Maya Rockymore Cummings, as well as my organization, the Teaching Artists Institute, and many of the NAN members, President Larry Young, as well as my auntie, the Vice President, Dr. Miriam Summers. And so I'm just excited that we came together to do this in the city of Baltimore. Only 7 chapters of the National Action Network had local screenings for members and community. And so coming from Baltimore, I heard stories of how many did work in the New York area, from Marcus Garvey to Malcolm X, and to now understanding and appreciating the work of Reverend Al Sharpton. Many have looked up to Adam Clayton Powell, including myself, and so now seeing the connection between Reverend Al Sharpton and Alton Maddox and Bob Law and many of the Sonny Carlson, many of the activists in Harlem, New York that I've heard about, read about for years and years, truly has bridged the gap between the Dr. King movement as well as the 80s and 90s for our civil rights. So I just say we need to see this movie and study it. Students, adults, it needs to be studied. Activists, elected officials, lawyers, everyone in the struggle need to see this film and study it. So I'm looking forward to watching it again. Thank you.